Word with head coach Doug Marrone. Here is Jeff Lageman.
All right, thank you, JP. Doug, fast start by the Detroit Lions today. They get out to a 14-3 lead after their two possessions, and that's a tough way to start any football game.
Yeah, it is. I think, we had some opportunities. Obviously, I think there was a 3rd and 12 in there, and, they were able to pick it up, and they had a scramble in there, and then they, obviously that was the first touchdown. The second touchdown, they started off with the big run, the 50-something yard run, then we had a DPI, and they scored there, and then, we didn't create any opportunities for ourselves in the red zone. We were 0 for 2 and had the ability to score, in that first half, 2 touchdowns, and we didn't do it.
Tough in the red zone and also tough running the football against the Lions. Defense hasn't been their forte, stopping the run, and James Robinson only able to gain 29 yards on 12 carries. It's tough to get it started when it's like that.
Yeah, it is always tough, and I mean we made an effort to try to get it done early, and we just weren't able to win some of the blocks up front that we needed to gain that yardage.
What do you say to your team? 5 straight. You're getting ready to go on the road, and it's tough. I mean that's football, but it's tough. And what do you say to them?
Yeah, it's tough, and I think that like I told them, I said you're going to be tested, and we're heavily tested right now, and it's the confidence that you have to have in yourselves, to be able to go out there, to be able to play, to be able to overcome this large hole that we put ourselves into, and it's a big challenge. But with big challenges can also come big rewards. So we've got to take a good look at ourselves. We've got to hang together. We've got to continue to work. But at the end of the day, we're the only ones that can dig ourselves out of it.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
Great. Thank you, Jeff.
All right, that's the first word with head coach Doug Marrone, presented by Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Let's come back in a moment. We'll get into the locker room, the Baptist Health locker room report. Mike Dempsey is here. Fred Taylor will be with us shortly as well. Plenty to come in the aftermath of this Jaguars loss to the Lions, 34-16 the final score. And this is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Hanania Subaru of Orange Park would like to present our new dealership with over 13 acres of vehicles to choose from and our new online buying program, iBuy. You decide how much of your buying experience you do online. Browsing, value your trade, picking your payments, financing. Just go to SubaruofOrangePark.com, pick out your vehicle, and click iBuy to begin. Become an iBuy preferred customer at Hanania Subaru of Orange Park, your local Subaru superstore.
At Jacksonville International Airport, the health and safety of travelers is their number one.
You're on mute, Amanda.
I'm coming. Hold on. All right, we can hear you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. If everyone can remember to mute your mic or if you're not talking at the time, we'll go ahead and get started with John Shipley and then Demetrius Harvey.
Hey, Coach. It seems like, at least from this vantage point, over the last several weeks, that Gardner's regressing a bit. What can you guys do to help him get back on track?
Well, we just got to start making some plays and, run the football better. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that we can do for a lot of players that we've got to continue to take a look at. So, I think it's all a team effort, like I told the team. I mean, we all have to do a better job. So, we dug ourselves in this hole. We're not playing very well. We're not making plays at critical times in the game. We're falling behind, trying to play catch up too early, not making plays early enough to keep the game, within one score. So I think we're all, we're all able to see that. And it becomes a point of frustration, and it's one that you have to work through, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, John. Let's go to Demetrius and then Mark Long.
Hey, Coach, it seemed like your offensive line wasn't able to really get going that much today. The running game wasn't able to get going. What did you see from maybe the Lions or just your offensive line in general, and what attributed to that today?
Well, I think, AJ gets hurt. We put someone in there. I just don't think we did a good enough job, at that point. I think you got to give Detroit credit. I mean, they got, some big guys up front, played a bunch of guys in the box. They were playing a bunch of bear, which we knew going in that they had the ability to do. And we weren't able to break one. And, I think, you saw on the other side, they were able to break a couple of those runs. And, at the end of the day, we just didn't win enough, collectively. And, that's the one group that you have to win collectively on. We had just, maybe a couple, but, obviously not even close to enough of what we needed to establish the run.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Doug, another pretty awful start, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Is Todd Wash safe at this point?
Yes. Yes. As long as I'm here and I'm the head coach, yes, he's safe.
Is that because you just don't really want to make changes, or you don't think he's the problem?
No, I think we all have to get better. I'm going to acknowledge that. I just think I don't know what else. We've tried to do everything. I mean, we've done things. We've worked on them. We've changed things up. We pressured. We played defense. I think, we need someone to step up and make plays. I think, like when you look at the first 17 points, there's 2 third downs. One we give up a scramble. One we go off sides. They keep the drive going. They score. Second one, we get knocked out of a gap, and the guy goes 50, and then we get a DPI and they score. Then the field goal. There was another big play, a big pass play there. Where we just can't make the play on it. So, I think when you go through, when you talk about changes and things of that nature, I think, if you have good options to go to, but right now I don't see any options. I see us that, we just got to keep working to get these guys better and, be able to make some plays, and that's what's hurting us. It's not a lack of, not, trying to, changing things, which we have done.
And then you would think that if teams are going to play some bear defense and take away the run like they've done the last 2 weeks, there would be plays there available in the passing game. Are you guys just not hitting those?
Yeah, in the red zone on the 4th down play, the ball was a little bit behind them, on the slant route. A couple of, opportunities out, man coverage team, but pretty much, they played us early and, some 2 showing us bear and changing up, which they do. I mean, it's not anything that we don't, didn't practice against or don't know. So, a lot of times it's just trying to keep trying to dial it up until you can find ways to, create some separation and create some plays. And, right now we're not able to do that. We're not able to, get the clean pocket, stepping up and going at times when we need it, and then at times when we have the clean pocket, we're not, probably getting the, either opened enough or we're not, throwing it enough. I mean, there's just so many things that are going into it. And I think that's where it leads to the frustration where, if it's an easy fix and it's just like, oh, we just need to play this player more, or let's feature this player, or let's do that. I think we have enough good coaches here that we would do that, but that's, we've tried everything. We're going to continue to keep trying.
Thanks, Mark. All right, let's go to Jamal and then D-Rock.
Hey, Coach, you've mentioned before that effort you didn't feel like was an issue with this team, and you just said that you've been trying different things, trying to figure out how to get it fixed. Do you feel like it's a talent issue on the roster?
I think we have a lot of young talent. I just think that we need to start making some plays to build that confidence. I think that when you're not making plays, there's a level of frustration. There's obviously a lot of disappointment, and you got to be able to battle through those things. I think that we have players that can do that, and relies on me to make sure that we're getting that done. So, I would put it more on me than anything else.
Then are the players being put in the best position to make plays and be successful on the field?
Yeah, I mean that's what our goal is. That's what we're trying to do. I think that what are you going to say? Hey, I wish we double covered someone on this play if the guy makes a play. That's tough to do. Or I wish we would have put a bigger guy in this gap, or maybe make an inside move or do that. I think as coaches, we're always going to question ourselves of how we can put them in better leverage and better situations. It's just hard trying to making sure that you're sound and, trying to figure out, what is the play that they're going to run so you can put your guys in that good situation, because there's always going to be a variety of them. So, we just got to continue to keep working, and we got to continue to, make those plays and try to build the confidence, where we continue to make them back to back, especially in situations that are on your side, whether it's, short yardage and we have the ball on offense, or whether it's third and long and we're rushing the quarterback, or in special teams when we have an opportunity. So, right now we're just not making any plays in all three phases, and that's on all of us. That's just not the players.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Jamal. Let's go to D-Rock and then Gene.
Doug, how secure do you feel, I guess, in your job status?
I can't hear him.
How secure do you feel in your job status after the 1-5 start?
Oh, my job status?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the realistic part of me is that, you never know when it's going to stop. I mean, I'm not going to be one of those guys to say that, that's not something that's, can happen. I mean, we see what happens around the league, so I acknowledge that. But at the same time, it's something that I can't control. So, and I said it before, I really love the coaches we have, and I love the players that we have on this team. And, I look at that sense of, relationship, or the relationship that I have with them, as to, make sure that I'm coming in doing the best job I can to get everyone around me better for how long I, have maintained this position.
Was there any thought today of putting Minshew on the bench for a little bit just to give him a break, or going forward in the future to give him a chance to kind of see from the sideline again?
No, maybe. I mean, in the future, I think, I'd be naive not to say, that's up for any position, any place where we can figure ourselves to get better. But no, I didn't feel that way during the course of the game.
All right. Thanks, D-Rock. All right, let's go ahead and we'll wrap up with Gene.
Hey, Doug. In your NFL head coaching tenure, whether here or in Buffalo, does this at all feel like the lowest point in either of those tenures?
It's the most challenging. I'll say that. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I think it's most challenging. I think it probably hurts more because, we've got guys that are working hard. We got a bunch of coaches that work hard, and you can't seem to bring it together. I think that's what I think hurts me, more than really anything. I mean, that's what, when it comes down to it, that's the most important thing, that those types of relationships that you have. I think, if I look back and the challenges I've had, like in my whole career outside of coaching, no, this is not, anywhere near some of the challenges I've had in my life. And that's what I try to talk to the players about. I think that, we've all had these challenges that, all of us, there's 100% someone that has a story the way they've had to come back from something that was tough. So, we've dug ourselves in this hole, and, we've got to fight our way and just keep fighting. And, we can't, whatever happens with the chips, whichever way they go, whatever side of the table, hopefully we can win enough that we can, gather those chips up. But that's what our goal is. That's what we're trying to do. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it's a very difficult, situation. I'm not going to lie about that.
As a quick follow-up,
sure.
Just from a football perspective, do you feel, is this like maybe the most frustrated you've been in terms of just trying to push the right buttons, and for whatever reason, it's just not working?
Yeah, I don't, I want to make sure I'm clear on this. It's the biggest disappointment I have in myself, is a better way to say it. You know what I'm saying, Gene? In other words, I don't want to make it like, oh, I'm just frustrated and I'm throwing shit and I'm pulling out my hair, and I'm just so disappointed that feeling, whatever it is in your gut that people have, there's a hole there for me. And because, in my past, I've been able to pull through some things and pull people up and get people to perform. And I'm doing everything I can to do that. And, it's not either A, going as fast as I wanted to, or B, I'm not getting that done. And I feel like, I'm the one that's letting down the coaches and the players. But that's just how I've always looked at things. So, I really want to stay away from the frustration word because I look at it as just I'm just disappointed in myself. So I'd appreciate it if you agree with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Gene. And thank you, Coach, for your time.
Great. Thank you.
All right, guys. Gardner will be next. So hang tight.
You know, he's a fiery guy, but at the same time, get your guys, try to rally your guys. You know, put them in the huddle. You're going to go for two, and let's say, hey, guys, it's time to dig in and try and make this comeback, as opposed to bring that attention to yourself.
All right, so 34-16 final score, still awaiting the Baptist Health locker room report. The Lions get their second win of the season. They're now 2-3. The Jags dropped their fifth in a row, and now it's on to L.A. next week, guys, to face a Chargers team with Justin Herbert licking his chops, Mike.
Yeah, it's never been a good trip for the Jags. It's never been a good matchup for them historically. I mean, different squad now with Justin Herbert there, guys, but he's come into the league with a ton of confidence, great athleticism, and I know he hasn't won a game as a starter for that football team, but I think he's played very well, and I think it's going to put a lot of stress with the skill position guys he has around him on this Jaguar defense. Once again, it's just not going to let up.
They're excited about him, right? I mean,
should be,
and for good reason. I mean, look at his numbers. His passer rating overall, and talking about a rookie. I mean, so there's a high level of excitement. And when you got a high level of excitement and you have hope, which is what the Chargers now have with a quarterback that's playing at the level that Herbert is playing at, it makes the team rally. And so I think this is going to be an incredibly tough matchup this week. And the Chargers, who do they play this week? Are they off?
Off.
They're off.
Oh, so another week of facing a team that's coming off of a bye.
Right, and that they had their
help.
schedule changed because of the Denver-New England game last week.
Yeah, so another challenge coming up for the Jags as they go out to the West Coast. As you said, they've struggled out on the West Coast.
They
all
would
time.
not have been on a bye, though. It's not like the schedule
Correct.
makers set them up that dastardly, but it works out the same.
Because the Jags would have had the bye as well next week. And that game got moved as one of, 8 games that got moved because of the New England COVID-19 situation. 34-16 the final, still awaiting the Baptist Health locker room report. Jeff Lagerman and Fred Taylor upstairs, and the Jags trying to get back on track here. This is a long slide already. 1-5, another 30-point day against this Jaguars defense, and it just continues that stretch, which that's what it's been the last month and a half.
Right. Well, in the first few weeks of the season, you had to hang your hat on the fact that the offense is playing well, and you thought you could trade punches with anybody out there, and that, you know, even if the defense was going to let up a lot of points or a lot of yards, you felt like you had a puncher's chance. And now, JP, you look over the course of the last 3 games, or 3 of the last 4 games that they played, they've scored 13, 14, and 16 points in that stretch. And in today's NFL, you got no shot if you're scoring like that. If you averaged 16 points a game all year, you might win a game or 2 at that. So they've got to wake this offense back up as well, because I just don't see the defense improving by leaps and bounds in the short term. They have too many issues, too many injuries. They're thin to begin with. And again, you look at what the Chargers are going to throw out there. Even without Austin Eckler, they have a decent ground game, but they have excellent skill position guys with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry that they can throw at you, and a young quarterback that, you know, already in a month, when you ask the question, does this young quarterback look like a franchise guy? I think the answer is yes. You know, and now those are the early returns, and hopefully the Jags can help Justin Herbert take a step back. But right now, I don't know too many teams that they could match up with that you'd feel good about them, feel confident about them coming out with a win.
All right, time now for the Baptist Health Locker Room Report. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Keelan Cole had 9 targets, 6 catches, 143 yards, including a 51-yarder, Jeff Lageman.
All right, thank you, JP. Keelan, this got to be a little bit of a bittersweet time for you. You have a great individual performance, 143 yards receiving, but the scoreboard doesn't make you feel better, I'm sure.
Definitely doesn't. I really can't elaborate on that other than it's not a good loss to have on your record regardless. We felt like we was the better team and we just came out short.
What do you do to change it? I mean, you've had this is 5 games in a row that you've lost, and you're trying to find a way to get faster starts. There's been talk about trying to have balance as an offense. And trying to find a groove offensively or that rhythm. How do you go about trying to get there? Because at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You just want to get there.
I honestly don't have that answer. That's definitely beyond me. But personally, I feel like just going in, watching film, being real technical with the small stuff that we messed up on. Because I honestly feel like we was in the game the whole time, regardless of what the score it looks like. It was a lot of weird things that didn't go our way. So just keep focusing on the small things so that way they turn into a big outcome for us at the end.
And obviously a football team getting ready to face here in the LA Chargers, a lot of excitement about their quarterback and a defensive scheme that you guys are going to know very well with Gus Bradley as the defensive coordinator. And then you get the bye week. As a player, there's probably nothing better to have going into a bye week than a win.
Definitely. Honestly, I would have took the whole first 6 weeks to go into the bye week with 6-0 win or 7-0 win. But honestly, it's just we just gonna keep going, trusting what we have in the locker room, trusting our coaches, believing in the play call, and making our plays.
All right, thank you, Keelan.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Keelan Cole, the Baptist Health Locker Room Report. Baptist Health, changing health care for good. Cole today, 9 targets, 6 catches, 143 yards, including a 51-yarder. We'll say goodbye to Jeff Lageman. Fred Taylor will continue to join us. When we come back, we'll get into the Geico Fantasy standouts from today's game. Final score, 34-16, Lions over the Jaguars, and this is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams, cloud storage, and more, Microsoft 365 on us gives you the tools you need to run your business. Stop by a T-Mobile store today. Qualifying plan required. Contactless to activate. 1 license per line, max 2 per account. Third-party terms apply. See T-Mobile.com for plan details.
Jaguars fans, game day is back, and while it might look a little different this year, the good times, smooth drinks, and tailgate excitement will never change when you're cheering on the Jags with Jameson. So pull up a seat, pour a smooth Jameson, ginger, and lime, and enjoy game day with Jameson. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Product of Ireland. Copyright 2020. Imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Hanania Subaru of Orange Park would like to present our new dealership with over 13 acres of vehicles to choose from and our new online buying program, iBuy. You decide how much of your buying experience you do online. Browsing, value your trade, picking your payments, financing.
Ready to go? Gardner, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys, let's start with Jamal and then Gene.
Hey, Gardner, you guys, the defense has given up 30-plus points for 5 straight games. When you go into the game realizing that the offense is going to have to score 30 points for you guys to have a chance to win, does that change your approach on how you handle things early in the game? Are you pressed a little bit knowing that every drive really counts?
I don't know. We ought to have some kind of sense of urgency to be able to score every drive. But also, a lot of that's we're putting our defense in bad positions a lot of times and not capitalizing when they put us in good positions. So we have to do better at that, and I think that'll help us.
Thanks, Gardner.
Thanks, Jamal. Let's go to Gene.
Hey, Gardner. Doug just got done saying about 10 minutes ago that he felt like he's never been, the biggest disappointment he has is in himself. And I'm just wondering, as a player, regardless of whether you're the quarterback or any position, how does that make you feel, knowing that, responsibility for this falls on everybody, not just one person?
Yeah, no, we all love playing for a coach that, is going to take accountability and he's going to stand kind of on the front lines there with us. But we all know, like, we all have to do better. There's not a guy out there dressing that, can't do a better job. So at the end of the day, we all have to, raise our game up a little bit, and that'll get us where we want to go.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gene. All right, let's go over to Alex Fleming.
Hey, Gardner, how you doing? Alex Fleming, Florida Sun Review. Detroit controlled the tempo with 180 yards rushing. Whenever you got back on offense, was it the front seven that frustrated you, or the experience of the Detroit secondary?
They're very good defense, very well coached. I'd say that's one thing that stands out. They did a good job mixing their blitzes, mixing their coverage. We never really got settled in, didn't feel like. And we just have to do a better job starting fast where we get in that rhythm a little sooner.
All right, thanks, Alex. Let's go to John Shipley and then Mark Long.
Hey, Gardner, can you remember a game that at least that you've played that was maybe as frustrating, at least as is just when looking at some of the turnovers and missed opportunities?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to think off the top of the head, but anytime you play a game like that, and you really just walk away feeling that you beat yourself. That's super frustrating. And that's we talk about a disciplined team doesn't beat themselves. We feel like we beat ourselves today, and just can't do that.
When you play well in a certain
Thanks, Gardner.
road venue, do you find that you kind of continue that?
This is just a reminder that if your microphone is on, we can't hear the person speaking. So let's finish up with Mark Long.
Hey, Gardner, can you just give me an idea of where the frustration level is for you guys offensively, for the team in general as a whole?
Yeah, no, we're frustrated, man. There's not a guy on this team that, likes losing or even wants to tolerate losing. But we're definitely frustrated. We keep, this kind of feels like the same story each week. We're trying to, all right, what's our solution? What's our solution? We gotta start finding it. And I think the urgency right now should be at an all-time high. But that being said, I believe that we have the guys in our building to do it. So we're just gonna have to come back together. I know y'all are sick of hearing it, but come back together, have a good week of practice, and just get ready to win one game at a time.
All right, thanks, Mark, and thanks, Gardner.
Yep.
Appreciate your time. All right, Joe's going to be next. So if you have a question for Joe, go ahead.
And he's a guy came in rookie year.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get started with Dustin Fletcher.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Hey, Joe, I know it's been a tough 5 weeks for you guys, giving up 30 points in 4 straight weeks. What do you guys see as a solution to possibly stop the bleeding?
It really, speaking from the weeks before this week, because I haven't watched film yet, obviously, but it comes down to execution. Like today, first half, I don't know how many third downs we had, opportunities we had to get them off the field, not just 3rd and 1s, but like 3rd and 6 to 10 to 12 pluses. And we just got to be able to get them off the field in those situations, know those situations and make plays on the ball. Matthew Stafford, they were going down the field, trying to isolate people, and we were in position a lot of times. We just got to be able to make plays and get off the field.
And then one follow-up, how bad do untimely penalties hurt this team?
Oh, yeah, you can point out some of the penalties today that obviously hurt. And that's just something that you have to be able to limit in football. We're a young team. You got to learn from these mistakes and execute it fast. The NFL is a rough league. If you make those kind of mistakes over and over again, you got to be able to turn it around and learn from your mistakes and not do it again. I know I trust the guys on defense, the guys, their will and their want to. I know they're going to do their best to be able to correct that, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the guys just keep on building, keep on going.
Thanks, Dustin. All right,
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate
let's go to Cassidy and then John Shipley. Cassidy, are you there?
Sorry.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Go ahead. Now we can't hear you.
It's a game. Now you can hear me.
We're good.
Okay. Joe, how much does the defense change just without Avery and Josh Allen out there?
Yeah, I mean, those are two guys. Obviously, Avery's been here, I think, the longest tenured guy on defense, and his leadership, not just in the defensive line room, but for the whole defense, is sorely missed when he's not there. But NFL's next man up mentality, and you got to have the guys who come in be stepping up and making the plays that Avery would be making if he was in there. And obviously, Josh is one of a kind guy coming off the edge. So it always hurts not to have him, but I think we still got talent coming off the edge. We still got guys who can do their jobs, and I got full faith in those. But obviously, when you have Avery and Josh missing, you're missing something on your defense, and you're just looking to replace it.
Thanks, Cassidy. All right, let's go to John Shipley, and then we'll finish up with John Reed.
Hey, Joe, can you kind of just tell me what the overall, I guess, kind of vibe and mood is in the locker room after the game, considering the stretch you guys are on?
I mean, after the game, obviously you're disappointed. You put so much work into this, not just during the week, but in the off season, coming through. So you're disappointed. There's a lot of things out there, especially a game like today, where you left things on the field for our defense on third downs. Like I said before, limiting big explosive plays. Like, we were in position, we could have executed just a little bit better. We would have been off the field that much quicker, getting the ball back to our offense in an advantageous situation. But I think the vibe, while disappointed, I think the group is still together and everybody's working towards the same goal. Everybody understands the message, and we'll be right back to work on Tuesday.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, let's finish up with John Reed.
How you doing? From a systematic way, what do you think was the biggest problem stopping the run today? Particularly Swift on that long run on the outside. It seemed like the guys didn't feel the lane or whatever. Was it just hard getting off blocks, or what happened today?
Yeah, well, I feel like you're going to get tired of me saying it, but it's just execution. You got a gapped out defense. Everybody has their gap, and everybody has to do their job. And with one guy pops out of his gap, and somebody behind him doesn't have the chance to react, the quick reaction to make him right, whether that's D-line, linebacker, or secondary, you're going to get plays like that, and especially against a talented runner like him. So it comes down to execution. You just got to keep going over it, and you got to trust the guys that they're going to do their 111th, and everybody has to do their 111th. You got to be accountable. We got to get better at that, and it's been preached to us, and I think guys take it seriously. But I mean, like I said before, a young team, and sometimes you got to learn trial by fire, and how quick that can hurt you in the NFL.
And follow though, is it frustration that you haven't repeated? I mean, you're making repeat mistakes as a unit. Is that a frustration for veteran, or what's going on with that from a
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to correct the mistakes in this league to be a winning team. And I mean, the reason we're not winning is because some mistakes have happened over and over again. I mean, speaking from a defensive perspective, I don't know if it's the same guys every week, because we got new guys playing at every level every week, it seems like, just with the situation that we're in right now. And I mean, like I said earlier, next man up mentality. You got to just come in and be able to do your job and be accountable to the guy next to you. And that's something we all got to work on and get better at.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, John, and thanks, Joe. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys, Joe's going to step out really quick, and we'll switch over to DJ pretty fast. So if you have a question for DJ, go ahead and put your hand up.
Reception was the safety. Will Harris, I believe, picked it off, or it might have been Deron Harmon.
Prater missed a 57-yard field goal off that turnover. Brown then missed a 32-yard field goal to the right after a 7-play drive. Prater hit a 31-yarder to make it 17-3 Detroit, and the Jaguars back on offense.
I can hear you.
All right, let's get started with Cassidy and then Alex Fleming.
Hey, DJ, how's it going?
Going good.
We saw sort of again today, it's been several weeks now that Keelan has sort of become Gardner's safety blanket. What have you seen from him? You know, he isn't a guy that really talks about himself. What can you kind of tell us just about how he has progressed?
Um, he comes to practice every day, works. He's a good friend of mine. Since I've been here, he's always been supportive. And, we both compete. And, when he goes to the field, he takes that mentality out there. He's a tough guy. He takes some hits. And you keep running and keep going, practice every day, even through injury. And, when you have a guy like that, it's good to see that. It's good to see him successful.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cassidy. Let's go to Alex and then to Mia O'Brien.
DJ, how you doing? Alex
Doing
Fleming,
good.
Florida Sun Review. You had 7 catches today, but the defense was pretty much locked on you. What were they doing to make life difficult for you and your receiver corps today?
I mean, I felt like we was open. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Alex. Let's go over to Mia O'Brien.
Hey, DJ, kind of building off of that a little bit. I know last week, Gardner and, you guys struggled to get you involved, especially early on. Did you see any changes in the approach to get you more involved in the offense?
We tried. We did some things. I felt like it was a post that I should have had. But yeah, I feel like their defense came out. They played well, but I feel like as receivers, we got open. We have to get on the same page, and we have to move the ball more efficient so that we don't get into a point where we're just throwing the ball and they can just sit back and not do anything. I don't think there's a DB in the league that can just sit there and follow every play and completely shut down without any help, So I think when we get behind and you're up by a touchdown or two, you play safe as a defense. You play off. You force everything underneath. You send pressure, and I think that's what they did.
How do you think, GJ, if I could ask one quick follow-up, how can you guys become more efficient as an offense?
We can't go 3 and out first drive. We can't go 3 and out. We have to get open as receivers. We have to find the open guys. When we run the ball, we have to block downfield. We have to get first downs. We have to be efficient. And we can't play from behind. We have to put up points. We can't get in the red zone and rely on 3 points. Because when you do that, if you don't get the 3 points, then and if they go and score, you go from, a manageable game to down 2 scores.
Thanks, DJ.
Thanks, Mia. John Reed, did you have a question or your hand was still up? Are you good?
I mean, I can ask a question. I mean, what kind of toll is this taking on guys like yourself to go 5 weeks without a win and trying to do the things that you need to do and you're not seeing those results? But what has it been like for you personally?
I'm a competitor. I like to win. I go out every time to win. When we don't win, it's frustrating. It makes the week long. It makes going home, tough. Been here 3 years, and still haven't really won. So, it makes it tough. It makes it hard. It makes football more difficult. But the only way out of it is to win. And the only way to win is to come to work and do what you're supposed to do. And, we just have to take that mentality throughout the whole team. Personally, I don't really think any of these teams are just better than us. I don't know if you're supposed to say that or not, but I don't. But when you walk off the field, it's 31-10 or 31 whatever it is, you can't make that argument too much.
Thank you for your honesty, man.
Thanks, John. All right, we're going to finish up with John Shipley, and that'll be the last question.
Hey, DJ. Coach Marone said earlier that, all the disappointment of the last couple games he puts on himself and the coaching staff. Do you feel like, just as a player, that you have the confidence that this is a staff that can get you guys over the hump?
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, players play, coaches coach. Yes, the coaches have to put us in, good positions to succeed on offense. I can't really speak for defense. I don't know their schemes to a T like that. Offensively, Coach Gruden tried. So, we on them about getting James the ball. We on them about getting me the ball. We on them about, all this. But at the end of the day, the plays are being called and the attempts are there. So he can't go catch it for me. He can't throw it to me. He can't hand it to James himself. So I think we just have to find a way to make things happen. Yeah.
Thanks, DJ. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, DJ. Appreciate your time. Thanks, everyone else. That'll be it for today's post-game media availability. We'll send out everything else.
Being made downfield. 8 solos and an assist for Jones
and
today.
A couple penalties for him as
True.
well.
Yeah.
A couple pass interference penalties. Fred, the rushing stats tell the story today, though. 180 to 44. If you win like that much in the running game, you're probably going to win the football game.
Yeah, you that's what you would expect, JP. But again, just going back to the last couple weeks, our offense, they faced defenses that were in the bottom 5 against the run.
That's right.
And you end up the total the performance you ended up with was totally opposite of what we expected going into the game. And what they did against the Bengals, they gave up 205. The Texans 179, I think that is. And we haven't rushed for 100 yards in the last 4 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I think the last time was against the Titans, where that was a team that you don't expect to outrush, them having Derrick Henry, but they found a way to outrush him. But bottom line is, JP, they have to find a way to get play calling more consistently and better. I don't think they're doing a great job of that, the play calling, that is. You got to mix it up. You want to try and take what they're giving you, but you also want to try and set some things up, whether it's throughout the week in the media, hey, run the ball. We got to run the ball. The other team's going to come in here and they're going to play to stop the run. Then, hell, you hit them with a play action to open the game, and maybe you get a pass interference at the same time, as opposed to just beat your head on the wall, as I mentioned earlier. So back to the drawing board, looking at the next game, the rest of the games to finish this season, it doesn't get any easier by any stretch of the imagination. I want to be optimistic, but I don't know the teams that are remaining, that they're just going to get a win. I don't know.
Yeah, the
on paper it doesn't look.
No, on
good
paper it looks
at all.
bad. Yeah. You're right about that.
We'll break that down a little bit later coming up. Let's come back in a moment. Player of the game voting. A little later, the injury report presented by Baptist Health. Final score: Lions 34, Jaguars 16. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Hey, Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're hitting refresh now, palm trees swaying now, letting loose now, busting a move now, cranking up the beats now, hands in the air now, feeling free now. You're on Tropic time now. And right now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, try our watermelon mojito and guava margarita smoothies. And you're tasting fruity now, sipping sunshine now, toasting summer now. You're on Tropic time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Nothing kicks off your game better than a handful of Georgia peanuts. Power-packed with protein, essential nutrients, and great taste, Georgia peanuts are the MVP for affordability, sustainability, and nutrition. To score life's touchdowns with recipes and fun facts, check out GAPeanuts.com. The perfectly powerful peanut is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Peanut! Get your peanut! Jaguars Game Day presented by VyStar Credit Union. If you believe free checking is better, join VyStar. That's checking with no fees and no minimums. No kidding. At VyStar, they never forget that it's your money. Jaguars postgame continues. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. Pride of the Jaguars running back Fred Taylor after a Jags loss to the Lions 34-16. Let's get our Jaguars Radio Network player of the game voting in. I get a vote. Mike gets a vote. Fred gets a vote and a half to break any ties. Mr. Taylor, would you start us off?
JP, I'm just going to make it quick, man, say Keelan Cole for obvious reasons. That's my vote.
Yeah, 9 targets, 6 catches, 143 yards. I'll second that. Mike?
I thought we might all go on 3, 2, 1 and say Keelan Cole at the same time. I mean, yes, Keelan Cole, absolutely player of the game today.
Yeah, certainly the best statistical day. 9 targets, 6 catches, 143 yards. A 51-yarder in the game was his long today. So there you have it. The Jaguars Radio Network player of the game, wide receiver Keelan Cole. You heard from him earlier on this post-game program. He is now the player of the game. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Baptist Health Injury Report. Unfortunately, it's a long list today. It's coming up after this. It's Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Jaguars fans, let's tackle social injustice together on game days with Selfies for Change. Visit TIAABank.com/selfies for change to take a virtual selfie with a Jaguars player and unlock a $5 donation to the Jaguars Foundation to help fight social injustice. Share your photo on Instagram or Twitter using hashtag Selfies for Change so more fans can be part of the movement. Join us on game days at TIAABank.com/selfies for change. TIAA Bank is the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has the large format printing services running in high gear, creating large banners for marketing events, full vehicle wraps. Learn how Kessler changes the game with print and direct mail innovation. From eye-catching restaurant menus to real estate yard signs and event displays, Kessler does it all. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're hitting refresh now, palm tree swaying now, letting loose now, busting a move now, cranking up the beats now, hands in the air now, feeling free now. You're on Tropic time now. And right now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, try our watermelon mojito and guava margarita smoothies. And you're tasting fruity now, sipping sunshine now, toasting summer now. You're on Tropic time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Like working outdoors and want better pay and benefits? Superior Fence and Rail is seeking full-time fence installers with pay ranging from $16 to $25 an hour and more with commercial experience. Superior Fence and Rail will train you to work with their professional team and provide you with all the tools you need to be a top-notch installer. Get off the fence. Call Superior Fence and Rail today and start your career.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Welcome back. Jaguars postgame continues. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification along the Jaguars radio network. Jaguars postgame rolls along. Lions 34, Jaguars 16. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. Let's get to the injury report presented by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Fred, unfortunately, another long list today. There were a handful of defensive players that were a couple of key defensive players that were held out of the game today. Josh Allen, of course, Avery Jones. They were both inactive today. Some other guys banged up in the game today. A.J. Cann in the first quarter with a shoulder issue did not return. Ben Barch got some action on the offensive line today. Tyler Eifert had a neck issue in the second quarter. Jared Wilson, who had missed some time this year with a hamstring issue, has a hamstring issue again. Not sure if it's the same one. The safety did not come back. And Miles Jack in the fourth quarter, an ankle issue, and apparently was in a boot with a cart, wheeling around the sideline in the fourth quarter. And Fred, if he's gone, this is going to be, a big role to fill. Let's say it that way on defense.
Yeah, again, no matter where you look, there's no help. I don't think there's any help anywhere, especially anytime soon. And these injuries, they're just going to mount up. We're in week 6 right now. You didn't have the preseason once again. We've talked about that quite a few times on the show. How I feel that not having the preseason has hurt a lot of teams and a lot of players. The bye weeks, the schedule because of COVID, the schedule's sort of all over the place. Yeah. Teams moving the bye week up or moving them back, and games being postponed, delayed, or whatever it may be. So it's just a big mess right now, man. And the only positive I see in it is the front office, the evaluators. They'll have an opportunity to evaluate some guys that probably wouldn't have even seen the field at all this year. So like, let's say it's Sidney Jones, for example.
Correct.
Somebody who's playing well. Just taking advantage of your opportunity once you're out there, no matter how thin the roster is. Somebody has to play.
Yeah, it'd be great if they find a few gems like that. Fred, it is devastating if they're without Miles Jack for any period of time, because it not only is he playing solid football, he's the only one kind of playing above the X's and O's. You know what I mean? You go back to that interception in the end zone against Cincinnati. Nobody's making the special play like he is on that side.
But he's always been that guy. He's been that guy, and to come in and, a couple years ago to have him, out with injury and not being able to do what he was capable of doing. Coming out of college with the injuries, and they still took him. But he's a guy who's extremely dynamic, very fast, smart, very intelligent player out there, and he does bring that energy you need on the defensive side. So to lose one of your leaders, it would be devastating. And if I'm the other team, after seeing 180 put up by the Lions, I'm definitely saying, hey, they're short linebackers. These other guys, they're just kind of guys. So my game plan is scripted to run the ball.
Well, there you have it, the Baptist Health Injury Report, changing healthcare for good. Back in a moment, we'll look at the schedule ahead. Next week, the Los Angeles Chargers will entertain the Jacksonville Jaguars in week number 7. This is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, whether it's on the field or in your finances, the key to success is a solid plan. From high-yield banking to home lending, into retirement and beyond, TIAA Bank offers solutions that can help you achieve your goals and make the most of your money. It's time for a plan. Start building your legacy today at TIAABank.com/Jaguars. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, equal housing lender, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Slot right, blue 42, hot. A great quarterback is a true leader with a work ethic that never wavers and a desire to win that is second to none. We know a truck like that. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck 43 years straight. With impressive towing and payload, Ford F-150 makes tough jobs look easy. Visit your local Ford dealer for great offers on F-150, official truck of the NFL. Based on 1977 to 2019 calendar year total sales.
Now more than ever, the Jaguars want to recognize our fans in everything you do to make football, well, football. As part of the NFL Fan of the Year contest, the Jaguars are searching for one extraordinary Jaguars fan whose positive influence inspires others in Northeast Florida through their love of the game. You can win a trip to Super Bowl 55. Visit NFL.com/Fan of the Year now to nominate yourself or others for a chance to win.
This football season, prepare your taste buds for the most iconic sports watching drink of all time, Pepsi. With refreshing deliciousness specially formulated to keep your eye on the ball and mouth-watering fizziness to help you power through game day, Pepsi has everything you need to start strong.
I used to care when Mike cheered so hard he spilled nacho cheese on my carpet, but thanks to Pepsi, even Mike can't ruin my football party.
So this football season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink made for football watching. Pepsi, that's what I like.
Jaguars postgame rolls along. Final thoughts. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. 34-16. Lions over the Jags. 5 straight losses now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Jags are headed to SoFi Stadium for the first time next week to face the Los Angeles Chargers. This game was originally scheduled in Week 8 because of the changes to the Patriots scheduling. This was one of 8 games around the NFL moved over the next few weeks, and it was moved up to Week 7. So the Jags are in L.A. this week. They'll have the bye week, at least for now, in Week 8. So, Fred, the L.A. Chargers have a young quarterback that a lot of people are excited about. And this is a Jaguars team that is struggling right now with 5 straight losses and a long road trip ahead.
Yeah. Anytime you have a quarterback that you can put out there, he was able to, sit down Tyrod Taylor, and I hadn't seen him do any wrong. Just watching the Saints game last week, the Monday night game, he looked amazing. I'm talking just the decisions he made, the velocity in the ball. He towers over his offensive lineman, so he can see everything. His awareness, he just looks sharp across the board, man. And to throw 4 touchdowns, too, to go along with everything else that he did well. He played extremely well. Our secondary, if the down lineman doesn't get to him with those receivers, and I don't know if Keenan Allen will be back after going out a week ago. We'll see if he gets healthy for the bye week. He can get scary with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry. They have some weapons around him that can get it done. And then Justin Jackson in the backfield, a guy who's been running the ball pretty tough, even with Eckler out. So the Chargers have played solid defense. So their record doesn't really reflect how well they're playing. But you're going to their home field, and you're not playing well yourself. You're banged up as well. It's going to be a tough matchup for the Jaguars, but I'm going to stay optimistic, man. I'm going to always root for my Jaguars first, but I know it ain't easy. And at some point in time, JP, I'm going to have to be realistic, or people are going to stop listening to me and going to question my credibility.
Right. So next week the Chargers, then the bye week, and we'll see. You know, there's going to be a lot of inward looking, and we'll see if they can go out to L.A. and get something done there. Then the bye week. Then it's home against the Texans, at the Packers, home against the Steelers. The Browns are coming in, at the Vikings. That's the next 6 games. So some big-time names, some big-time quarterbacks.
You could have named any 6 teams in the National Football League, and it's going to be a tough schedule for the Jags at this point, I think, Fred.
I agree.
You know, it's just that they're undermanned talent-wise, in my opinion, and when you have a few injuries to key guys, that just exacerbates that, and they're not stopping anybody. I mean, look, you're right, Fred. The Chargers, it's all relative. They're playing better defense than the Jags, but the last couple of weeks they've given up a total of 68 points. So your hope, I think, when you head out west is you're just going to have to win a shootout. Not that's probably the mindset you're going to have, whether you express that publicly or not. That's probably internally the mindset you're going to have the rest of this year.
Well, that's always the mindset. I don't think you really express it, but today you had a team that was giving up 31.5 points a game. You're only giving up 29, and you got blown out. If we can play the Jets the next 10 weeks, then we might get a win. But unfortunately, that's not the way this thing works. On paper, it doesn't look good for us at all. But it is the NFL. You never know, because sometimes those you never expected that wins do happen. But they got to get back to the drawing board, figure out what they're going to do, probably even start dialing up some, gadget plays to catch the Chargers off guard. And let's see what happens. So I'm still on the board, on the ship. I'm optimistic in my guys. So I always just wait until the game comes and what happens afterwards.
Fred, great stuff as always. We will catch up with you a little later this week before the Jags and the Chargers match up, and let's keep our head up, Fred.
I can respond. All right, JP. Hey, Mike, I'll see you guys soon, man.
Okay,
Fred Taylor out of here. We're back for those on our flagship station in just a moment. The Scoreboard Show is next with your calls. 355-NFL-1 is the number. 355-6351. Bucky Brooks will join us as well. The Senior VP of Communications is Dan Edwards. The VP of Production is Patrick Cavanaugh. Executive Producer Dave DeCandis. Manager of Radio Joe Fortunato. Tony Smith and Linda Fortunato are our producers. Britt Reber, Trent Padilla, and Max Hockman produce our shows for Jaguars.com. For Jeff Lageman, Fred Taylor, and Mike Dempsey, this is JP Shadrick saying goodnight. Final score, all Lions 34-16 over the Jags on the Jaguars Radio Network.
This is the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. This is your chance, Jaguars fans, to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, Geico, and by TIAA Bank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome into the Scoreboard Show. 355-NFL-1, the number. 355-6351. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks joining us from Los Angeles after a 34-16 Lions win over the Jags. Bucky. This was a tough one today.
JP, this is it's tough, man. It's tough. Tough out here right now.
It's tough out there right now. Tough over here right now.
Tough
everywhere.
Tough down with Duval. Yeah. Here's the thing. The thing that you want to see and what we've always been able to kind of hang our hat on is the Jaguars played hard. They were a physical team. They showed up or whatever. But today was unlike those other games. The Detroit Lions whooped them. They took them to the shed and really physically beat them. And it's really discouraging when you look at it because this is a Lions team that have really struggled. They were desperate for a win. Obviously, Matt Patricia's on the hot seat. And they played with a sense of desperation and urgency that for whatever reason, we were unable to match. And as you guys were listing on the previous show, man, the schedule only gets tough. And I feel like we frittered away a lot of maybe winnable games. And so now you just have to worry, when is the next win going to happen? And how are you, as Doug Marrone, how are you able to keep your young guys engaged? Because at some point you go from being hopeful to hopeless. And can you continue to keep your young guys playing hard when there may not appear to be a win on the horizon for a while?
Bucky, look, obviously winning is the most important thing, and individual accolades are not. But what are you trying to hang your hat on as a coaching staff right now, saying we're doing this well or we're not doing this terribly at least, and we can build on that?
I mean, I don't know, because offensively, couldn't run the ball the way that you needed to run the ball successfully. And it is appearing with each passing game, the more that you put on Gardner Minshew, the less that he is able to handle it as a franchise quarterback. He can play in this league and he can have success in this league if he's operating in a managerial role. But it is now more evident that when you're asking him to be the primary playmaker, to put the offense on his back, he's incapable of doing it. And I won't say that he's regressing. I think we're really seeing his warts magnified because the Jaguars are consistently having to play from behind. And so because of that, they're having to hand him the ball and ask him to do things that he's just not capable of being able to do. And so I don't know what you can hang your hat on offensively, and then defensively, you just can't get stops. You can't. You have a tough time covering. You have a tough time generating pressure. And the thing to me that is really disturbing, the amount of extra downs that we allow, either by penalties, mistakes. Josh Jones had a couple of PIs. Like third down, Jacksonville does a great job of getting them to third down, but the third down defense has been a really, really disappointing spot. And so if I'm Todd Washington, I'm trying to figure out, hey, what's the one thing that we do? I mean, I don't know, because they ran it, they threw it, they did anything they wanted to do today.
Yeah, there were a couple of instances today. Chazon had an offside on the first drive of the game on a third down, and then a little later in the second half, there was a roughing the quarterback on a 3rd and 7 play, just to your point there. So plenty of show ahead. Your calls. The phone lines are open, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351 in the aftermath of this loss to the Lions today, 34-16. We're off and running. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Bold statement. Saving money with Geico is almost better than watching football. Think about it. When you're watching the game, yelling at the quarterback to throw the ball, throw it, Williams is wide open, why are you doing this to me? Use that rocket arm, come on! They don't listen to you. But if you went into a Geico office and yelled, someone please help me save some money on car insurance, everyone would hop to it. Except the intern, because it's his first day and he doesn't even have a computer yet. See? Better. Switch and save with Geico. It's almost better than sports.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, the CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing staffing firms in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI knows how important it is to find the right people for your team. See why some of Jacksonville's top companies choose CSI for their staffing needs. Visit thecsicompanies.com or call 800-582-0828 today. That's 800-582-0828 for the CSI Companies.
Oi. Bonjour. Xin chào.
Добрый день. كيف فينا نساعدكم?
¿Cómo te podemos ayudar?
If you have an accident, the last thing you should have to worry about is a language barrier. That's why at Farah & Farah, we have a team as diverse as our clients. So no matter what language you speak, we'll fight for your voice. Farah & Farah, here for you.
نحن هون للكل.
Ici pour vous. Aquí para todos.
Here for all. Jacksonville.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back, 355 NFL 1, the number 355-6351. Phone lines open. Bucky, strap in and hang on. Here we go. Mike, what you got for us?
All right, you got the numbers, folks. Let's head out to Jerry on the west side. Jerry, you're on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. You know, it's a good afternoon. We can all see, touch, feel, and smell, even though we're not happy. But there's something the other night, a couple of my buddies and I, we were sitting around trying to think, how could we correct the problems the Jaguars have? And I think they need to instill the winning attitude. And the best way I think to do it is fire all the position coaches, bring Freddie in to coach the running backs, Log coaches the ends, and put Mark in at quarterback coach. Let's bring Freddie in.
Okay.
Defensive line. And keep Keenan where he's at, and maybe bring Jimmy in, but also put Tony at GM. I don't think there's anybody in Jacksonville that knows as much outside of other players about player development and getting players to play the right positions.
You left Bucky out.
As Tony does.
You left Bucky out.
That's okay.
Well,
I just stay in my current.
You good, Bucky?
I'm good right here,
Okay.
JP. I just stay right here and just.
Okay, I was just trying to look out for you. I don't know. That's a little outrageous, obviously.
It is, and the thing about like a winning attitude and changing the culture of the locker room, it's hard because sometimes it takes faith. Like you have to kind of get those things done before you get the W's. But you do wonder. One of the things that you can do from a player development standpoint as you rebuild.
Nope, we lost Bucky's connection.
Oh, we didn't lose him. He just is frozen.
He's frozen. We'll get back to
I'll say this
Bucky
quickly,
Ford.
and obviously Bucky will finish his thought, but being a successful coach is no guarantee. I'm sorry, being a successful player is no guarantee you're going to be a successful
Not even
coach.
close.
Look at
right.
Mike Singletary, right? Hall of Fame middle linebacker, a flawless player. And talking about a guy with the right attitude and was a miserable failure as a coach in the National Football League. So just because you've been that, I don't think it's as easy as you think it is. You don't just show up. Most of these guys I don't think would like to coach in the National Football League. You know what I mean? That
Right.
like
Keenan's one that's like one of the odd ones that really is really good at it. I mean, Keenan does a great job with these wide receivers.
There are plenty of guys who are good, but it's not just it doesn't translate one to one. Just because you were good as a player doesn't make you necessarily a good coach. And as you pointed out a few minutes ago on the broadcast before the Scoreboard Show came on, Doug Marrone said in some of his post-game comments, for instance, we're not getting rid of Todd Wash. As long as I'm the head coach, he's going to be my defensive coordinator.
Yes.
So if you're expecting a mass exodus of guys getting fired, it's not going to happen.
Bucky
it doesn't appear.
Right, it doesn't appear so, at least right now. Bucky, you're back with us now in L.A. You froze on us there mid-thought.
Oh, man, you
were on a roll.
So many nuggets, just so many nuggets. I just talked about, like, the winning attitude. And the caller talked about the winning attitude. One of the things that you do in player development or player acquisition is when you're drafting players, you want to take players from winning programs. Well, they've done that of late. Caleb Von Chasen came from LSU. He won a national title. He knows what winning looks like at a high level. C.J. Henderson played at Florida. They were turning that program around. They've won games. So there are a number of guys that have played in winning programs that are on this team. I think the big thing has to be, Doug Marrone has to continue to be consistent on the message and the blueprint for this team to win. And everyone in the building has to be on board with that blueprint, coaches and players. So if they talk about running the football and playing good defense and doing those things, everybody has to see, they has to understand the vision of the program and how the team is going to win. And everyone has to buy in and make sure that everyone is acting accordingly.
All right, we got Bucky back, 355 NFL 1, the number. Let's go to Craig on the north side next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Craig. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Fine, thanks.
Good.
Okay, so I question how Dave Caldwell, Doug Marrone, and Todd Wash still have jobs. And I know I'm being reactionary in this. I've always been a Doug Marrone fan. I thought he was a good guy. I thought he was a good coach, but I don't know that he's the guy. And, you know, year after year of seeing what we've seen, I just question if one of Shad Khan's other businesses had put this product out, if those people in charge would still have jobs. And I follow Tony Khan on Twitter, and he's the senior vice president of football tech and analysis, but he never tweets about the Jaguars. It's always wrestling and soccer. So I just wonder if I don't know, guys. I've been a fan since the beginning, and I don't know what to feel right now.
It is confusing. It's frustrating is what it is when you're on this losing skid like this and things aren't going well and the personnel is not what you thought it was going to be, and it changes on a week-to-week basis, it feels like. That's a lot of moving parts.
I'll say the Tony Khan part of it, like, it's my understanding he runs AEW and Fulham, basically, right? I mean,
Correct.
Those are his babies. So he is like the guy pulling all the strings on that. So he is more direct say and control. I would think my guess
That's the way
it would be that if he were to make those comments here, he would feel like he is like jumping over, even though he's the owner's son. That's not his position in this
He's
organization.
co-owner is what he is.
Yes. Understood. You know what I mean, though?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is not the day-to-day guy that is running this organization.
That's why there's a GM and a head coach over
Correct.
here. They are the ones that report to Shad Khan.
Now, as far as the rest of it goes, Bucky, I mean, people have brought this up for a while now. You know, would Shad Khan's other enterprises, would he stand for this kind of level of performance? Difference is in the National Football League, no matter what your level of performance is, your enterprise still makes a lot of money, right? Every year. You know, I think there's more real-world impact with all the revenue sharing. And I'm not saying that's the right or wrong attitude to have, but I do think that's a big difference between this and a typical business out there.
Yeah, to be fair, maybe Shad Khan is trying to follow the blueprint that some of the most successful franchises have utilized, which is trying to have stability, particularly in the front office. When you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Green Bay Packers, before the New York Giants fell off, it was always about having consistent presence of the same people, letting them go through the ups and downs, but you didn't have this constant turnover where you're consistently changing philosophies. Well, now with Dave Caldwell, because he's been in the position for a while, you do wonder when Shad Khan evaluates the team and the organization at the end of the year, hey, what's the best way to go forward? I think because the team was so close a few years ago, I think what you want to do is you want to give Caldwell every opportunity to see if he can right the ship. And because Tom Coughlin was removed last year, you wanted to see what his imprint would be on the franchise. Does it show immediate incremental improvement, or does it stay flat or drop back? I think Khan has talked about this. At the end of the year, they're looking where the organization is, and they're just going to see what is happening. But obviously, it doesn't look good based on how we've played early and what the rest of the schedule looks like in terms of when we're going to get wins. How many wins will we stack up at the end of the year?
How about the cards that Doug Marrone has been dealt? Is just a straight-up head coach this year, right? I mean, with the personnel issues, the COVID situation, everything going on in a year where he needs to win football games, it doesn't get much tougher than what he's had to go through, Bucky.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation, and the funny thing is it isn't fair, but look, you evaluated on your record. And so Mike Vrabel has said this before the season. He talked about what you have to do is you got to find a way to win until you get your crew in to win the way that you want to win. And so good coaches have to find a way to be adaptable and figure out, look, I have all these young guys. How can we play in a style in which gives us an opportunity to win? And as they grow up we can eventually morph into my long-term vision of the team. But at some point, you're hoping that he can find a way to push the right buttons to get this team to win games, even though they go to every gunfight on the weekend with a butter knife instead of a gun.
Yeah, it feels that way.
Look, I tend to agree with what Tony Baselli said on the game broadcast. I don't know if you heard it, Bucky. Just I don't want to hear any COVID-related any excuse. Everyone's dealing with it.
Correct.
The Titans had 2 weeks where they couldn't play, and they played dominant football coming off of that. And then they went out, and this is a team that you went toe-to-toe with in week 2, right? So they went out today. They found a way to win it in overtime after giving up a lead that they had all game, and they're undefeated. I mean, that's just one example. The Patriots lost Tom Brady. They had more opt-outs among their starters than any team in the National Football League. And what they do, they just sat around, bided their time, and they signed Cam Newton. You know, if this organization wanted to, he was out there for the signing, right? Or at least they could have approached that. I don't know if this would have been the situation he would go to. So, look, the NFL, man, Bucky, you know this as well as anybody. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. It's going to just keep coming week after week after week. Everybody's dealing with something, be it injuries, COVID, or all of it together. And the good teams and the well-run organizations rise above.
Yeah, no, Mike, you bring up a great point. There are no excuses. Like when we kick it off on Sunday, whoever you have, you got to figure out a way to win with them. And the best coaches figure out a way to do it. And so with COVID being a significant issue around the league, you're having to be more adaptable and flexible than ever. And you have to figure out a way to get the 53 that you have up. You got to figure out a way to get them going. And because the Tennessee Titans have been able to succeed with COVID hanging over their head, there are a lot of owners that are going to look and say, I really don't want to hear this thing. And you look at the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons made a move with Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff, and here they go with Raheem Morris, and they win a game, and they look like a completely different team. You're going to be measured by how the rest of the league is going and handling their own set of adversities. And so the Jaguars have to find a way to win. Regardless of what they have, they got to figure out a way to get some W's.
Let's come back. More of your calls, 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
I'm Chantel Baker, fiancée of DJ Chark. My fiancé is always prepared with a game day plan, and so am I. I'm always looking for easy ways to save time, and Publix helps me tackle everything from pre-game prep to post-game cleanup with prices that are never out of bounds.
This week at Publix, assorted varieties and sizes of Tide Pods or Tide Liquid Laundry Detergent are on sale for $12.49. And look for new Tide Hygienic Laundry Detergent.
Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hey there, Florida. That's right, I'm talking to all of you. From all the way up in the Panhandle to all the way down in the Keys. The new Florida Lotto has been upgraded for all of us. It's got prizes bigger than a Florida rocket launch. Almost as many ways to win as there are teeth in a gator's mouth. And odds better than a day at one of our beautiful Florida beaches. So get on out there and play our game like only we Floridians can.
Try the new Lotto today. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has the large format printing services running in high gear, creating large banners for marketing events, full vehicle wraps. Learn how Kessler changes the game with print and direct mail innovation. From eye-catching restaurant menus to real estate yard signs and event displays, Kessler does it all. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Some things make a house your home.
like a quick heating oven that makes the aroma of warm chocolate chip cookies your thing. When cooking with natural gas, you get the best temperature control, save money, and earn a rebate up to $200.
Who wants cookies?
Your home. Our safe, reliable, efficient energy. Love natural gas. Find rebate details at peoplesgas.com.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Oh, they're lit up. The phone lines, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. A lot of people have thoughts to get off their chest.
They're going to share them, thoughts and emotions.
Yes.
And it's understandable. 355-6351. Bucky's getting to know him well. Sakib is back. Sakib, you're on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead.
Listen, guys. I'm not gonna whine and cry anymore because it's over. It's done. All I can say is Shad Khan is 100% responsible for everything that's going on in this franchise. He is the owner. The buck stops with him. He has said all the guys report to him. All the guys report to you, Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone. You need to do your job and get these clowns out of here. Because you have had almost 100 losses since you've been the Jacksonville Jaguars owner. And I love Shad, but you have had almost 100 losses. This is getting too old. I said that last week. I know I'm saying the same thing, but this is getting way too embarrassing. And I'm about tired of calling you guys every single week saying the same thing because we have no hope. It's over. It's done with. Do your job and fire these guys and get somebody who wants to win for this franchise. Look at all these other teams that have new coaches. They're winning this year. They're winning. Browns are winning this year. They have a first-time head coach, and they're winning. Yes, they got blown out today, but they still have a winning team. I'm about tired of this. Get these guys out of here. Get me guys who want to coach for this team and want to do the right thing and just win some ball games. This is getting too old for this. Have a good one, guys.
All right, Sakib is out, Bucky.
Yeah, Sakib was really upset. Really upset. But I understand his frustration. I'm looking at the record. Double-digit losses in 6 out of the last 7 years. The one season where we went to the AFC Championship game, it seems like eons ago. You look at the team from that year, 2017, you don't have many pieces left. And so you just wonder where does the team go? And so we have a ton of picks. Obviously, we're going to be in the mix, maybe as a top 5 team in the draft for one of the talented quarterbacks, maybe Trevor Lawrence included. And so you're hoping that you can start finding the building blocks. But it's tough, and I understand the frustration that the Jaguars fans have because it's been a long time since you really have tasted success consistently. It's one of those things where I think Shad Khan certainly has to look at the overall operation and figure out what is the best way for us to go forward. Does Dave Caldwell and his staff, do they have a plan for how we can get back up off the mat and quickly become a competitive team? Those are the questions that you have to ask when you have those heart-to-heart discussions behind closed doors.
Sakib, thank you for the call. We head out to Orange Park. James, you're next up on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead.
Hey, guys, and I appreciate what you do. It's not easy talking about this year in and year out. And, Bucky, I'll kind of piggyback. That was more of my thoughts. Dave Caldwell's proven exactly what he knows how to do, and I think that's the frustration. Using facts, they don't know how to put together a team year in and year out. It's clear. It's results. Hate to bring facts into it, but proof is in the pudding. You are what your record says you are, and we're a losing franchise and have been for years. And the fan base, quite frankly, is sick of having top 5 picks. That's all we have is top 5 picks, and we're 1-5 again. This is nothing new. And my question is when is the – I think the message needs to be, does anyone in this building know how to do this? And the answer is no, and when are we going to change it? Because giving Dave Doug Marrone is like a guy in a company that's going to dissolve. It's easy. There's no expectations. The fan base has taken this punch for so long. If we get a first down, we celebrate. The announcers are trying to talk about the development of players that can't play, and it is a business. And quite frankly, we're failing. Their development program doesn't work. We can't keep good players. We're not an attractive destination. And 6 weeks into the season, we're ready for the draft. But I'm a Jag fan. I stick by them. But I think this is a front office business, and clearly this front office does not have an answer. And that's what frustrates people when we try to make it seem like, well, if we get a pick here or a pick there, we're going to turn things around. It's been a long time. This fan base will be satisfied with 8-8 a couple years in a row. I'm telling you, 500 seasons, we'd be satisfied. But I know you guys are doing your jobs. And the one thing about it is, a lot of times the experts say, well, you're just a fan. Yes, you're an expert on football. I'm an expert on watching losing football. And I've paid for my doctorate degree by supporting the Jaguars. I feel as qualified as anybody to say, this team doesn't have what it takes. That coach needs to go. This isn't working. So we'll keep hanging in there, and I appreciate you guys. I'll hang up and listen to your response.
All right, James.
Thanks for the call. I will say the track record of top 5, top 10 picks, upper part of the first round, as of late, those guys haven't been around for second deals. We've talked about this before.
The good ones have.
Those are the cornerstone of your organization. When you have first and second and maybe sometimes third-round draft picks, those are guys you have to keep in the building and have to have good guys, good football players that you keep here for 8 to 10 years, Bucky, not 3 or 4 and out. And that hasn't happened enough around here.
No, that hasn't happened. And JP and Mike, just so we understand, when we're drafting in the top 10, we're talking about game changers, difference makers, guys that are supposed to be the nucleus of your team going forward. And you think about some of the players that were selected in the top 5, top 10. I mean, look, say what you want about Jalen Ramsey's attitude and maybe the way that he got along. He certainly has played like a premier corner in the league, which is what those expectations were. Dante Fowler left Jacksonville, went to L.A., resurrected his career, and he's been a very productive player for the Rams and now the Falcons. Leonard Fournette, like it didn't work out there, but we've seen Leonard Fournette show flashes in Tampa Bay of the talent that he possessed and that he displayed at LSU. And the list goes on and on and on. I'm looking at Yannick Ngakoue. He has 5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles this year in Minnesota. And so you make those moves in Jacksonville based on how it was going and whether you could get them re-signed. But, man, when you lose blue-chip players and you're not bringing blue-chip players back in return, your team begins to regress. And you just can't keep subtracting without adding. And we saw Caleus Campbell, another player who played really, really well at first with Jacksonville. He has moved on to Baltimore. So when you're unable to retain your top players, your team ultimately falls back to the back of the pack or they fall to the bottom of the league.
That's right. Here's the list. Luke Jokel, Blake Bortles, Dante Fowler, Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Fournette. Those are the first-round picks from 13 to 17 that are no longer here. And then Taven Bryan, Allen, Henderson, and Chason are here on the active roster right now.
Yeah, the ones that are here are not stars, and yet, at least,
right.
And I understand, I don't necessarily expect C.J. Henderson to be a star immediately, but, the ones they have, that they've nailed the picks, they haven't been able to keep those guys, and not only first-rounders for that matter. I mean, look, there's only one person, though, that can answer all of James' issues, and that is Shad Khan himself. When he asks, when will this end, he's the only guy that can decide that, and a couple of weeks ago, he came out and basically said, I'm preaching patience for this season. Like, I'm not going to take the short-term view on this year.
He said it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Correct.
That's
but I think Jaguar fans go, well, this didn't just start in September. This started years ago. This started when you took over the team. And, yes, we had the one great year. Other than that, I mean, you can't keep pointing to that forever. And so – Bucky, the fans have sat through it all for years and years and years. It's not just a 1-5 start. It's whatever the record is over a decade of less than stellar football.
Yeah, no, it's tough because I can just tell you sitting through the 1-5 record has been difficult. And so if you stack back to back years of futility, it makes it hard to continue to come to the stadium with optimism that this is going to be the week that the team turns it around. I will say this because I do take exception to one of the things that the caller said. He talked about it not being a destination, that you can't do it. You absolutely can win and build a winner in Jacksonville. You're in Florida, so you can attract free agents with the no state income tax. You have a nice stadium. You have facilities that give you an opportunity to do that. And so really it comes down to, can you create the right environment that will allow you to succeed year after year after year? When you look at the division is going to be one that is pretty competitive. Yes, you have the young quarterback in Deshaun Watson, and Ryan Tannehill is playing at a level that is almost MVP caliber, but the Indianapolis Colts going to have to make a situation change at quarterback. And so then Jacksonville has to build up the team to be able to compete. But each of those franchises that we mentioned, they have their own issues. And before you can become a championship team, you have to be able to build your team to win the division. And when I look at the division, the Houston Texans are going to continue to come back to the pack. The Indianapolis Colts are solid, and Tennessee Titans are solid. So what moves can the Jacksonville Jaguars make going forward to gain ground on their division rivals? That has to be the focus for Dave Caldwell, Doug Marrone, or whoever else is in charge of the rebuilding thing. They have to look at the division and put together a team that is built to beat the other teams in the division.
Let's come back. Couple segments left and more of your calls when we return. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Brooks Rehabilitation outpatient locations throughout Florida are currently open and accepting in-person and telehealth appointments. They're following CDC guidelines to include screenings, temperature checks, face masks, social distancing, and additional sanitizing of all surfaces. They're taking extra precautions to ensure your safety so you can focus on your recovery. Please call their central intake unit at 904-345-7277, option 3 to schedule your visit. Brooks Rehabilitation is the official rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Proven IT implements a strategic game plan designed to streamline your business for maximum results. Make the winning choice with the official business systems partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Proven IT. Proven IT's technology experts use a customized approach to understand how to design, implement, and monitor solutions that optimize your business. Proven IT provides managed network services, document management solutions, office technology, voice and data solutions, and more. Visit ProvenIT.com to see how they can streamline your business. Proven IT, transforming workplace productivity.
Hey there, Florida. That's right, I'm talking to all of you. From all the way up in the Panhandle to all the way down in the Keys. The new Florida Lotto has been upgraded for all of us. It's got prizes bigger than a Florida rocket launch. Almost as many ways to win as there are teeth in a gator's mouth. And odds better than a day at one of our beautiful Florida beaches. So get on out there and play our game like only we Floridians can.
Try the new Lotto today. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Ugh, I have to do laundry when I get home. I have to lug all my clothes over to the washing machine. Then I get to put them in the dryer and accidentally shrink my cashmere sweater again.
Motorcycles make everything exciting. And when Geico makes it easy to switch and save on motorcycle insurance, it's even more exciting.
I'm gonna fold all my socks into little balls! Yeah!
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Jaguars fans, game day is back. And this year we've teamed up with Jameson to add another win to your week with official Jaguars and Jameson branded collectible stadium cups. They're only available for a limited time in the Jacksonville metro area. So grab yours today, pour a smooth Jameson, ginger and lime, and cheer on the Jags with Jameson. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, product of Ireland, copyright 2020, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
This football season, prepare your taste buds for the most iconic sports-watching drink of all time, Pepsi. With refreshing deliciousness specially formulated to keep your eye on the ball and mouth-watering fizziness to help you power through game day, Pepsi has everything you need to start strong.
I used to care when Mike cheered so hard he spilled nacho cheese on my carpet, but thanks to Pepsi, even Mike can't ruin my football party.
So this football season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink made for football watching. Pepsi, that's what I like.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
All right, time for a couple more calls before we wrap it up for the night. We've got 2 more segments. What's up?
We got 355 NFL1 is the number, 355-6351. We'll go to the north side. Eric is next up here on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, how you doing?
We're good. What's up?
All right, my question is this. I hear you guys, especially Brookie, talking about this team, getting them up each week. Looking at this record now, we're 1-5. Don't like the playoffs are going to happen this year. What can this team do to, turn it around, at least finish strong, maybe get a couple wins? Looking at that defense, I'm not sold on Todd Wash's philosophy. He doesn't have the players for that. So what can they do to at least try to scrap up and at least finish strong?
Whew.
I'm listening intently, Bucky.
We're waiting,
I want
Bucky.
to know.
I think you have to go back and when Doug Marrone stands in front of the team, he has to clearly identify, here's how we want to play, this is how we have to play, and if we play this way, this is how we can win. I would like to think that strategy involves more commitment to the running game, better and more efficient play from the quarterback in the passing game. On defense, they have to figure out if they can stop the run and force teams to be one-dimensional. So it has to be eliminate the run game and force people to throw. And then from a coverage standpoint, it's really keep the ball from flying over our heads, make them dink and dunk, drive the length of the field, and hopefully the odds will get them where they'll bog down in the red zone and have to kick field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. You want to simplify, like when you're losing, instead of adding, you want to subtract things. Let's whittle the playbook down. Let's whittle the game plan down. Let's try and take some of the thinking off of the players and make it very, very simple for them so they can play fast. And then it's just about continuing to coach up the effort, the technique, and the details. There's no magic pill that he can give the team to say, hey, we're going to get it right. It's really a renewed commitment to the core beliefs that he has and that he's told the team previously, and they have to do it.
I just think they're limited. I mean, look, all that.
Very.
I think Bucky's right.
Like in saying that, very limited in terms of, let's be honest about the personnel and the talent. I would say the one unit that they have that is probably at a B plus level would be the wide receiver core. I would say that's probably the best unit on the squad.
What about the O-line?
I mean, the O-line has been good, but like what I would like to see from the O-line, I would like to see them run it enough for the O-line to be able to impose their will. And sometimes that means being stubborn and just continue to run it. Like, we're going to run it these 3 downs and we're going to continue to do it. James Robinson has shown that he can be effective at times, but you have to be committed. Everybody has to be all in on the running game. And so, yeah, the wide receiver core, the offensive line, those are 2 groups that I would say are above the line when it comes to comparing them to the rest of the league. But, yeah, there's some talent deficiencies when you try and compare them to some of the top teams in the league, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even some of the middle-of-the-pack teams in the league, quite frankly. I mean, there's no pass rush. The secondary is incredibly young. You had one guy playing above the X's and O's, outstanding football. That's Miles Jack. He's hurt right now. We don't know how significant that injury is going to turn out to be. There's no answers. There's no reinforcements coming that are going to make them significantly better. It's nice to see Kamalei Correa have the nice pass breakup in the end zone today. But, I mean, that's not going to turn your team
right. I mean,
around.
the guy showed up, and I don't even know if he practiced with the team this week. He
Go
did?
out there,
I don't think he did, Bucky, because he was traded on Wednesday, right?
And so that right there tells you the state of the team right now, that a guy, Corey, comes off the street, lines up, and he is in the mix in the lineup making plays. That is not the way that it's supposed to happen. And
in a big situation, too, right?
I mean, he's on the field in a major situation playing. Who knows if he knows what he's even expected to do on defense? And so, yes, there's a major talent disparity between the Jaguars and the other teams in the league, and there's nothing that you can do in the middle of the season to change it. The only thing that you can hope is that the guys that you have on the team, they develop and they get better, but you never know when the light bulb is going to go off.
All right, let's take our final timeout, and we'll get our final few minutes, our final thoughts after the Jaguars fell to the Lions today, 34-16. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
At
Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're hitting refresh now, palm tree swaying now, letting loose now, busting a move now, cranking up the beats now, hands in the air now, feeling free now. You're on Tropic Time now. And right now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, try our watermelon mojito and guava margarita smoothies. And you're tasting fruity now, sipping sunshine now, toasting summer now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
This is Chantel Baker, fiance of DJ Chark. Enter for your chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience with the Jaguars. Imagine being selected as a Jaguar for the day with prizes including the opportunity to test your skills with the Jaguars team trainer, a personalized Jaguars jersey, club-level tickets to a Jaguars home game, and more. Look for details at Publix where you can pick up all your game day needs, including Tide, Bounty, and Crest. Tackle everything in one stop. Available at Publix where shopping is a pleasure.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjax.com.
This is Avery Jones of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's time to get in the game. Make your voice heard by exercising your right to vote this fall. The ballot is your chance to make a difference in our community. Visit jaguars.com/vote for all details. Remember that early voting kicks off October 19th and Election Day is November 3rd. So get off the sidelines, Jacksonville. It's time to get in the game. The choice is yours.
Hi, this is Dr. Patrick Basil of Basil Plastic Surgery and Wellness. I'm a proud veteran of the U.S. Navy, and during my active duty time, I had the amazing privilege to serve our country and those who were wounded in combat. Helping my patients return to a normal life, I was able to provide an unparalleled level of care, which I've carried over to my own private practice today. As the official plastic surgeon of the Jaguars, I invite you to visit us at patrickbasilmd.com and would like to wish the Jags best of luck in today's game.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Final moments of the Scoreboard Show. If you didn't get in here, the fifth quarter coming up next. They'll take your calls on 1010XL. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks. The road ahead, Bucky, heads to SoFi Stadium out in your neck of the woods in Los Angeles. First ever trip there for the Jacksonville Jaguars against a Chargers team with a really, really good young quarterback, at least early in his rookie season, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Justin Herbert is balling out of control. He put the pressure on the Chargers front office to sit Tyrod Taylor down, and he did it with his play. And I think the thing that has been really impressive about Justin Herbert is he's a big athletic quarterback. He's a quarterback that was much maligned in the process because at Oregon, at times you didn't see him dominate the game. But part of that was by design. At Oregon, they didn't have a backup quarterback that they could depend on. And so they didn't let him run around and make plays. They made him play in a very structured system until you saw him at the end of the year in the Rose Bowl and then the Pac-12 championship game. What he's done in the league, he is in a system that really works. It's the old Shanahan system. It's outside stretch run game with the movement passing game. They have talented weapons on the outside, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, control the middle of the field, and the quarterback has played really well. That said, they give away games. They have a knack of just they find ways to lose games. And if you can keep the game close enough, they typically implode. And so It's one of those games where if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're Doug Marrone, all week you have to sell the team. We have to get the game into the fourth quarter. If we can get the game into the fourth quarter, they will find a way to give it to us. And that has to be what is talked about all week, and the players have to believe in that.
No, you're right about that. They dominated the Saints and should have beaten them easily, walking away, and then they just let New Orleans back in that game. That was not Herbert. That was the defense letting him down, really let him down the last couple of weeks. Bucky, I said this to Fred Taylor earlier. The Chargers are going to score points next week, and I think the one thing, if you're a Jaguar fan or you're a member of the organization, the way your path to victory is, I'm going to have to win a shootout. And like you said, hope the other team maybe gives you a couple, makes a couple of mistakes, you take advantage of them, but I cannot see this defense, as it's presently constituted, holding down a team with as many weapons as the Chargers have.
No, I mean, it'll be a challenge. I will say this. In every game, Justin Herbert has 2 or 3 throws that are turnover worthy. He still is a rookie quarterback. He is prone to try and make the hero play, and sometimes it can get him in trouble. That said, he makes a lot of beautiful throws, man. He is, I would say this is like, he is everything that the Jags wanted Blake Bortles to be. And he has done it at a level that I think has surprised many people. But when you sat and talked to him, he's a high IQ player. I think the bigger thing for Jacksonville going into this game is we talk about wanting it to be a shootout. That defense, you have to deal with Bosa. You have to be able to control him and some of those other weapons. They have some injuries that have hurt them. But I will say, like, Gardner Minshew should understand how to attack this defense because it's the same style defense that he sees every day in practice. That should give him an advantage. And we have seen some teams, when playing against that style of defense, have a lot of success.
All right, so the Jags and the Chargers coming up, 4 o'clock window game next week, and the Jags will try to snap a 5-game skid now heading to L.A. Bucky, we will catch up with you on Wednesday on Jaguars Happy Hour.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Bucky Brooks out of here, NFL Network analyst Mike Dempsey. Well done again. We'll talk to you as the week goes along. We can catch you on Jaguars Today.
10 to noon, Monday through Friday.
10 to noon, Monday through Friday. Jaguars Today on 1010XL. For Bucky Brooks, Mike Dempsey, I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening and for watching on social media. The Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.